G'day guys, welcome to the project boat number 2, I guess. This is my father's boat, long story short. I wouldn't have got rid of my other project boat, but my dad is sick and he has this tinny and needed to get rid of it for financial reasons, and it was sort of making him upset that he wasn't using it. So I thought I'll sell my other one to someone and start a whole new project boat series, and I get to keep Dad's boat that way. And it's a little bit of an upgrade, I guess. It's a 400, the last boat was a 395, and it's a wide body as well, so I have gunnels and stuff on this boat, which the other one didn't. But it will be cool to have Dad's boat. I'm going to name this after a word that my dad likes as well, and lots going on. But the plan will be, I'll run you through everything. We're going to gut this boat as it is, all the sort of, I guess, aluminium framing that's in here that we don't need, and all the timber flooring and stuff that we definitely don't need. I want full aluminium build boat. There'll be no carpet, no timber. It'll be all EVA aluminium like my last one. So let's go.
Oh my god. Oh my.
So we're pulling everything off. All the electronics are coming off. I've already unwrapped it all, which you would have seen in my last video. We have gutted the flooring. That will need a wash later on at some point. Bit of framework in there. We took the framework and the front deck out. We're probably going to leave that little piece of timber in there just for the batteries to sit on. Not sure what we're doing with that level there yet. And taking everything out of the back that was timber. There's already a nice platform and stuff down there to put some sheeting on to keep everything up. Tail light is off. Wrap is off again, as said. Front lights off. All this ugly stuff that was up here, there was anchor mounts, all sorts of stuff. So all the base for the main floor is going in. So we're going to make a very solid main floor platform so that everything will basically be built and structured off that main floor. It's all box section. So the majority of our structural stuff is 35 square 3mm, and then the other stuff is the other structural is 25 square 3mm, and the non-structural sort of stuff is 25 2mm. Whole framework set up here for the lid of the rod locker, all structurally attached to the main ribs of the boat. First part of the floor compartment is in, and we sealed off that back section so nothing can get through. Obviously everything can still get through from the front under this main bit of floor, like water and whatever. Left this as is in there because that's where my big battery and some sounder setups will go in there. That's going to be sealed off. So it's day 3 of building the boat. It's starting to take shape now, as you can see. We sort of expect tonight to get most of the base flooring in, and all the sort of structural supports and cross beams and everything for the main floor, and then we'll sort of be left with tomorrow putting the whole main deck on, lining up like compartment lids, all that sort of stuff, all the fiddly stuff, which takes time. So a lot of today will look like heaps has been achieved because flooring will be in, main supports will be in, everything like that. It'll look like it's nearly done, but then we'll probably still got 2 days of all the fiddly stuff, all the neat stuff, all the stuff you can see. So the flooring that I'm sitting on at the moment is part of a compartment which, like, you're never going to see that part of the floor. You're never going to be able to stand on it either because it's going to be a tackle compartment. So what I've done is I'm going to have basically one big compartment with a rod locker on the side, and the rods will sit above everything, so there'll be storage under the rods, and then the rest of that sort of L-shaped section is tackle storage, whatever else I want basically, and it's all going to be connected. Last time I sort of set it up and I made a purpose-built sort of semi-waterproof compartment, and it restricted me to what I want to put in there. It left me with one place, and I had space around that, and also had a live well on my last boat. I've no intention of putting a live well in this boat. I don't think I'll ever sort of utilise it. So it's just going to be a mega section of space in here with two smaller hatches, because on my last boat as well I had one big hatch, and because the deck, I guess, wasn't so long and that compartment took up so much space, when you wanted to get in that, the person had to basically be standing like right on that foot pedal section at the front, and there's always like the risk of them sort of, if the hook set the hook or do something that I'm in their way, they fall backwards and it gets a bit hectic. Whereas now I'm going to have two smaller compartment entries on one side, you know, so you're not in someone's way, you've got the whole rest of the boat to run around. Rod locker will be the biggest one, but you've got the whole side of the boat to get out of the way to open the rod locker. And rod locker essentially is basically more so for transport, you know, getting to where I'm going, not so much when I'm fishing. I don't intend to leave rods in there. I just want, like when we travel, tow on the boat, I don't want to have all my stuff in the car and then have all my rods and everything in the car as well. And when you're running cod and swim bait rods, you've got all those big lures that if it's in the front seat, it's like near your feet, it gets a bit annoying. So I thought just having this rod locker, which is a fairly simple setup, so it'll sit. So basically the tops of my rods will slide through there under that to the end, and the butts of the rods sit there, so all the reels will hang nicely in here and the rods can pass through and nothing will be in the way. But then all underneath that will be storage all the way through. So we ran out of gas for the welder, so we're going to get more gas, and I'll just sort of clean up that under section of the floor for now till the gas comes back. Then we'll continue with the cross beams for the rear floor. The compartment floor is just going to be out of 2mm aluminium, keep the weight out of it. It's never going to have anything but tackle sitting on it, and it has heaps of cross members on it for support anyway. Main floor where I stand, jump, do stuff is out of 3mm, very heavy duty, and going to be super solid, a little bit heavier obviously, but I want that strength there for just, especially sort of, it's going to be, I guess, 50 centimeters or more from the top deck, and no one steps down easily, you know, you're going to jump. So I want that to be nice and strong, and a few cross members under that. And main flooring, same deal, a lot of that will be 3mm in big sections where we're going to stand, other stuff will be 2 for keep the weight out of it. So all the framework is done. Get a bit of a pan so you can see, and decided to separate the tackle compartment from the rod locker with that panel. So that's 2mm aluminium on that back panel, then that's all this main stuff, 3mm. So that'll be the footwell in there, start of the rod locker, and we'll start sheeting it all off. Heaps of support structure, legs, cross members, braces, everything. That's that out of there, it's loose. Nothing will move. Rod locker is in. Ready? Can't get in there.
Ui. Very big.
That's for Luga's spot
Why
when she doesn't do what she's told.
Yeah. What else you have done? Wait, I show from here.
Which lid? That has to go in more, Mom. If anywhere, it'll be just here. So we have made it home. I'm back in the shed in Gladstone, and tomorrow basically I'm getting on a plane to fly to Darwin to do some work. So there's a mad rush to get home, and hence why this video is being finished here rather than in Gunnedah where we were building it. So rather than chitty chat, let's run you through what's happened. So we built a massive rod locker because that was one thing that was disappointing me in my last little rig. The theory with this is going to be the rod butts will sit there on some EVA, and the rod tips will run up under there, and there'll be some EVA, and all that space in there is going to be extra storage. Won't be as messy as that, obviously. Latches. Someone mentioned to me about mentioning prices. So these latches, plastic, were $14 from Roadtech Marine. $14, $14.95. These ones, same thing. I think they might have been like $12.95. Again, plastic, pot riveted on. Ran 3 along the rod locker. Tackle storage. We have endless amounts of storage. I'll stand up a bit so you can see. I made 2 compartments, 2 accesses to this compartment. So if someone's on the front deck, I'm not really going to get in their way. So the second access is there. And that goes all the way through. So as you can see, that is ridiculous amounts of space. That is a big flambeau tackle box, like I mean. That's a big one. There glides. And it just falls away in there like nothing. I've had my camera cases in there. So I put braces on the backs of the doors. This bit of 25 by 25, it's only a 2mm, but it's just to keep the doors nice and square and flat. So on my doors, what I will be doing is putting like a bit of sponge around the lip, around this lip, to keep everything nice and quiet. Obviously with the latches on the doors, it is way more quiet. So let's shut this one. So up the front, one compartment there which is impossible to open right now because I haven't put a latch on it. That's where my battery will live. This front little kick panel type deal behind there, that gives you more space. That is bolted in. So you ran nutsets, because I want to be able to remove that to mount trolley motor, do wiring, etc. But otherwise it's going to be in there all the time. Front panel, we put a big 3mm plate on top of the standard plate, which I'll sandwich together for the trolley motor, and I may put another mount off the side for the trolley motor. I kept Dad's original seat. It's mounted to the OG seat. We have the solid flooring in there. All of this will be EVA'd at some point. New glove box. down the back. I'm going to leave this down the back. I'm going to leave this open for now. If we're just chucking stuff in, there's plenty of deck space for two people. I've got my battery down there. We redid checker plate flooring, and this already had like a elastic strap set up for the fuel tank, so I've just kept that scenario. And same thing, that bolts in can be lifted out. Bilge pump underneath. So on the exterior, you might notice colour change. I dropped it into McKnight's when I was down there and got it wrapped. Now it looks flash. This is the back of the boat. Looks nice. Need to change that mark soon, bigger one. And that word there, Kainui White, is very special to my dad, so that is why that word is on there. I'll explain that to you. If you know what that means, you can write in the comments. Otherwise, I'll explain it to you in another video. Trailer has also received a big upgrade. I'll explain that to you. So the trailer, long story short, it had a very small trailer under it with only 10-inch wheels, and I wanted to upgrade those wheels, obviously. So we ordered, all this was built in Gunnedah at a mate's place, so sort of not central New South Wales, but fairway inland New South Wales, not very many big towns. Closest big town, Tamworth. Very good cod country, by the way, but very hard to get parts. So we organised some parts to be shipped ex-Newcastle to Tamworth and Tamworth to Gunnedah. New wheels, new springs, hubs, bracketry, new axle, everything. Waited till Friday, which was basically cut off of our time. Needed to install it Friday afternoon, drive home Saturday, and it all turned up, but wasn't our order. It was someone else's order. So I was stuck on a Friday afternoon with no trailer parts and a 11-ish hour drive home. Didn't want to risk the trailer, and buddy Gavin just happened to be selling his trailer, so we did a swap. Put his boat on the hoist and put my boat on his trailer. A few little adjustments, and much better trailer, bigger wheels, everything like that. Ironic part of that whole story, the wheel bearings failed me on the way home. So I was on the side of the road in miles replacing bearings in it was only 31, 32 degrees, wasn't that hot, but anyway, that's the irony of doing it all. Well, I guess that's about it for this stage. I have I think the next stage is going to be the flooring. I try and get that all sorted out, then some mounts for some electronics, new lights. Not sure what's next really. Obviously I've ordered all the rest of my latches, the rest of my hinges. That will be probably my next job before I fit the flooring, obviously. I'll probably position some ram mount bases before I go to the flooring as well, just so when they do the flooring it's all nice and neat, and there is like there's nothing I have to cut around, you know. They'll make the flooring around what I have, and that'll be like my permanent position for everything. Then that'll be it. Then after that it'll be on to, I guess, all the electronics. It'll be sounders, trolley motors, batteries, new lights, new wiring. But thanks as always for tuning in, much appreciated. I really appreciate all your comments and following along about rebuilding this boat. I literally cannot wait to get down and show Dad what I've done to it. I don't know whether, I assume he'll be impressed, maybe. I don't know. Not really his style, but it's going to be epic.